Well, welcome everybody. I am so glad that you're here. I am Gail Schorsch, founder and director of Bronx Eats, and I'm so pleased that you've chosen to spend part of your evening with us tonight. First of all, a big thank you to Mariama Ba, who organized this 4-week series. We would not be here tonight without her hard work and creativity. Also, Giselle Payne is with us, another intern, an invaluable Bronx Eats intern, who has an exciting Instagram announcement for us tonight. Giselle, are you able to unmute?
Hi, everyone. Sorry, I'm not at home. Hello. Hope you guys enjoy the series. Yes, so we just launched our Instagram. It is at Bronx Eats INC. I will put it in the comments below in the chat so you can link it. And then thereafter, if you recreate the dish that is being prepared today, definitely tag us and we would feature you on our page. And also tag your friends so they can also follow us and we will follow you back. Yeah, so definitely follow us. We need it. We want all the followers, your friends, your family, your moms, your dads, your uncles, cousins, everyone. Yes.
Excellent. Thanks, Giselle.
Right now. Congratulations.
So that's Bronx Eats Inc. On Instagram. So as I scrolled through your registrations, I was so touched to see so many new people and also so many regulars taking part in this Bronx Eats class and growing our community. Welcome to all of you. Food is a great reason to get together, and Bronx Eats is here to bring the Bronx community what it wants. We take our cues about what classes to offer from you, and we also try to offer you dishes that you may not have thought to try. So it's a fine balance here at Bronx Eats to offer healthy traditional dishes that people know and love, and also to introduce new food cultures too. So please take a minute before the end of class to fill out the survey in the chat box to help us know what you feel and what you want. It's anonymous unless you choose to give us your name, and it really helps us with our planning. Bronx Eats, as many of you know, is a safe place to meet, learn, and connect with each other around food and cooking. It's a shared community gathering place as we start to find our footing again in this new world. When we come together for events like this, we send a message to ourselves and to others that our health matters to us, that we value our time together in community, and that we value our local cooks and our chefs, and that we're going to take care of ourselves on a personal and community level. So thank you again for showing up for yourself and for this community. A few housekeeping notes. We are recording this presentation. You will be muted during the beginning of the presentation, and I'll unmute you to ask questions directly in about 10 or 15 minutes. If you prefer to use the chat box to ask your questions, that's totally fine. I'm about to introduce Stephanie Ignacio, who we're so pleased to have with us tonight. But before I do, I want to mention that if you go to the top right of her picture, you will see something. You click on the 3 dots and you can pin her. And when you pin her, she will become the largest picture in your screen. So without further ado, I would like to introduce Stephanie. Stephanie Ignacio is a Bronx native. She's a Lehman College graduate in nutrition and dietetics and has a passion for educating people about the importance of healthy eating. She currently works as a nutrition educator for middle schoolers at New York Edge Middle School 375X and worked for WIC beforehand. Even though she's working in a blended program between virtual and in-person, Stephanie does her best to teach students about the following: eating fruits and vegetables, sounds great, how to read food labels, and learning how to make healthy recipes at home. Her main goal is to teach her students how to make healthier choices on their own and hopefully influence their families and loved ones too. As you can see, Stephanie's work overlaps with one of Bronx Eats' main goals, empowering Bronxites to get more confident and healthy in the kitchen. Welcome, Stephanie.
Hello, guys.
So you are ready to go.
Hi, everyone. So today I'm going to be doing a spinach, sweet potato, and lentil dal, which is an Indian dish. So I'm going to briefly go over the ingredients that's in the dish. So there's going to be sesame oil, which I have right here, and then red onion. I accidentally pulled out the wrong onion. I do have red onion over here. Just give me a second. I have the sweet onion. But otherwise, I have the sweet potatoes, here. The ginger right here. Let's see what else. The vegetable broth in these little containers. Then the red lentils in this bag. Then we have some seasoning, the ground cumin and then the ground turmeric. Then of course this is the spinach. And the green onions or scallions, as most people. This one is in the back. And last but not least, the basil, which is over here. There's some dirt on the bottom. So it lasted a couple of days, which is great. So just give me a second to open this really quickly.
So if people do have questions as Stephanie gets started, please feel free to ask her directly. I don't think we're too many people that we can't just speak directly tonight. If you prefer to use the chat box, that's totally fine.
I don't mind whichever.
Hi, this is Peggy. Can you hear me?
Yes, hi
Yes.
Peggy.
Hi, Gail. So Stephanie, regarding basil, I'm surprised to see basil in the recipe. I didn't realize that was an herb used in Indian cuisine.
Oh, this is honestly a recipe that I found online. So you actually, yeah, it's just a small pack of basil. It's for near the end of the recipe, the basil. We're not going to use a whole bunch of basil, just a little bit in the end. So I'm
But
going to
Peggy, you're concerned about whether that's a staple part of Indian cooking, and I think we're going to have to look that up.
yeah.
Unless
Yeah.
maybe Andrea would like to comment on that. Or anybody, if anybody has any particular knowledge about that.
For a bit. So I'm gonna let the pan heat up just for a little bit. And the recipe calls for 1 tablespoon of sesame oil. So I do have a tablespoon. Just give me a second.
Just a reminder that you can pin Stephanie by going to the top of her picture and clicking on the 3 dots and then pinning her so that she appears larger on your screen.
All right. So to start, it's 1 tablespoon of sesame oil. This is the sesame oil I'm using right now. Put it in the pan.
And for those of you who are cooking, please send your photos. You can send them to me at gail@bronxeats.org, or you can put them on our new Instagram account. How lovely.
And then for the red onion, I guess I'm going to use all of it because this should be enough for the dish. It doesn't say specifically, you know, how many cups. So
Stephanie, there's a question about what is Dahl?
Dahl, I believe that's the, other than it being called the name of the dish. To be honest, I'm not quite sure what it means. I just understand that it's spinach and lentils, ginger, spinach, lentils, ginger, and then there's sweet potatoes and then red lentils. So quite honestly, I haven't looked that up, but that's a really good question.
Well, it's what you're making tonight. This is a very
Yeah.
traditional Indian dish.
Oh, no. I thought the question means to say, like, what does it mean? Because I don't know what it means.
I think Dahl does mean lentils, having to do
Oh, I see. Yeah.
with making an interesting combination, a type of Dahl.
Excellent. Thank you.
Thank you.
So like the Indian continent, I actually did a project on this, and it's like they have a lot of sort of bean looking grains. So
Yeah.
it's actually when they split it, when they split them, I think that's when they call them Dahl.
I see.
Yeah,
Makes sense. Thank you, Mariama.
no problem.
I'm just chopping them very finely because it did say finely chopped. So I'm trying to cut them as small as possible. Just turn that off.
The one thing that we haven't spoken about in a while is that all of the Bronx Eats classes are 1 hour. So we're making these incredible dishes all under 1 hour. You can see that we have time for questions. We have time for schmooze, as they say, before and after Stephanie's dish, and it's still all going to be completed within the hour. So it's really nice to know that amazing, delicious, healthy food can be made within a reasonable amount of time.
Right. So, just a second to make this small.
Is there anyone in the group who has made dal before?
Hi, this is Peggy. I make it often. I use, because I have an Indian cookbook.
Excellent.
And yeah, and I like dals, and I actually make them in the Instapot.
Excellent.
How is it when you cook in Instapot? I assume it's a lot faster compared
It's
to.
faster, and it's, you know, I think it's, as you show, the spices make a difference, you know, just the right combination of herbs and spices, and it's under the hour, as you mentioned, Gail.
Yes.
I make a lot of dal. It's a big favorite.
It's a favorite. Nice. And do you use a cooking?
Sometimes I use an Instapot. I'm really embarrassed to say my favorite dal recipes are, I have a Mater Joffrey cookbook and I have a Melissa Clark cookbook. And you know, Mater Joffrey's like the queen of Indian cooking. And she has like, you know, 10 gazillion ingredients, and I kind of, which are great, but the Melissa Clark, she's got great dal recipes and a lot of them.
And they're easier to use.
They're easier to use. They're more user-friendly. Yeah. But she's like not Indian. So Mater Joffrey is probably more accurate, I guess is the word.
Excellent. Okay, so Stephanie, tell us what you're doing.
I'm putting the purple onions in here just to make them sweat a bit. And then next, because I did turn it off a bit because it's getting too hot. One second. I'm just mixing that, making sure they get cooked well. Then next is a garlic clove, finely chopped. So it says cook over low heat for about 10 minutes. So I'm gonna do that really low.
So Shira, are you cooking along over there? You're muted. You are cooking along. Excellent. Okay.
I had pre-cut my onions and garlic and ginger before the class.
Okay, excellent. So we have really a great turnout of people who are cooking along, which is really nice to see.
Okay, so I'm cutting the garlic really, really small, and I'm gonna add that. Making sure that the pan is, you know, really low heat, because I haven't cut the other ingredients as of yet. So I added the crushed garlic, and now I'm gonna do the ginger. So for the ginger, it says in the recipe just a thumb size piece of ginger, peeled and finely chopped. So use my big knife. I'm gonna choose this one. About this size. And I'm gonna cut it on the side.
So just so that people know, are you peeling the skin of the ginger or are you leaving it on?
I'm peeling the skin of the ginger. And as for ginger, it's actually good for digestion and it helps with, you know, fighting colds and flus. That's why we have sometimes ginger tea. I know for myself, whenever I get colds or flus, I add some ginger in my tea, which helps a lot in terms of, you know, colds. I did recently have a cold not too long ago, and this was really helpful. So, and I'm gonna finely chop that.
Okay, so just a trick of the trade. We just saw Stephanie turn the burner off because
Yeah.
she needs a little time to chop up the ginger. So that's something to
Yeah.
keep in mind if you haven't prepared. Some people like to chop their ingredients before they start cooking so that once they turn the burner on, they're kind of ready to go.
Right.
But if you're doing the chopping and you've already started cooking, yeah, you might want to turn it off for a few minutes just so that you don't burn your vegetables and your onions.
Right, absolutely.
Are there other questions? People can feel free to ask questions, put things in the chat box, talk to each other.
So I'm gonna chop that.
I know we have people here who are not shy. Haiti, welcome. I haven't seen you in a while. Nice to see your name. I'd love to see your face.
I'm right here.
You're right here.
How
Oh, there
are
you
you?
are. Hi. Hi. Thanks for
I'm-
coming.
I know we're talking about all these vegetables and things, but I'm seasoning my meat.
Oh, you're seasoning your meat. Okay.
So I don't want people to be looking at me.
That's fine. Good to see you. So
Nice
there's
to
a
see you too.
question, Stephanie, is there water
Yes.
in the pot or do you just have that sesame oil and the
I just
onions?
have the sesame oil right now.
Okay.
Mhm.
This looks like such an exciting recipe. Like I love, I love sweet potatoes and basil and cumin. Like everything
Mhm.
on this ingredient list is making me drool.
Yes.
Awesome.
I
Are
see
you cooking
Kyla.
along or are you watching, Kyla?
Pardon?
Are you
No.
cooking along?
I'm just watching.
That's great. Well, we like people to drool and then hopefully repeat it when they finish up the class. Drooling is a good start.
Yeah, good. I'm on the right track then. This looks great.
Exactly.
I'm definitely gonna try it though.
Yeah, so Brenda put in the chat box that ginger, just like turmeric, is great for inflammation.
Yes,
So
it
this
certainly
recipe is
is.
actually loaded with anti-inflammatories.
Absolutely correct. So I'm gonna put back the heat for now. And just put it in medium. Just start stirring that.
Did you just put the garlic into the pan?
Yes, I did.
Okay.
In for a bit. Done with that. So for a couple of minutes, I'll let that cook. And then afterwards, I'm gonna add the turmeric and the cumin. So, and for the turmeric and cumin, let's see how much. So 1.5 teaspoon of ground turmeric and 1.5 teaspoon of ground cumin. So I have that right here.
So Stephanie, there's a question about what kind of spoon you're using to stir everything up. Is that a silicone spoon?
It's a silicone spoon, yeah.
Okay, thank you for that.
No problem. Yeah, it
What-
doesn't get
what is
hot
the-
over here.
Advantage, but, oh, okay.
Wait, can you repeat that, Stephanie? What did you say?
No, it was one of the viewers.
What is the advantage, I think Peggy was asking, of using a silicone spoon versus a regular spoon?
Well, I think it's just the same thing as a regular spoon, except that, you know, it's just different in terms of the texture.
I think it's also heat resistant.
Yeah, this one's heat resistant. You can't feel a thing.
Yeah, and it also doesn't collect bacteria. You know, wooden spoons are a little bit out of fashion because they're kind of wood kind of holds on to bacteria more than some of these more modern utensils. And so Kyla is sharing that it's easier to clean up also.
Oh, absolutely. She's right. So for the cumin, I have the 1 teaspoon, but I also have the other half, so 1.5. I'm gonna do that for the cumin. Okay. So I'm gonna layer that in, and then another one, the other half. That in. The same thing goes for the turmeric as well. So put the 1 teaspoon of it. And a half teaspoon. And then I'll mix it. It already smells very flavorful already. I haven't even put the other ingredients yet. So next comes the 2 sweet potatoes and cut into even chunks. So these are the sweet potatoes I've gotten. And I'm gonna use a peeler for this. Probably gonna turn this off because I don't want to burn.
So again, in terms of this recipe and pretty much all recipes, we are having you chop and show us your technique during class. But if you wanted to prepare everything in advance and once you turned the burner on, you were kind of ready to go, it might make the cooking process a little bit faster.
I had work before this, so
No, I think it's valuable. People actually, you know, seeing knife skills and seeing how you're doing it. The other question that came up is, do you need to peel the sweet potato for this dish? Could you put it in without taking off the skin?
You could, yes, but I actually prefer my sweet potatoes without the skin. So it's honestly a personal choice. It's fine if you wanted to leave the skin on.
We do know that the skin of pretty much everything has a lot of nutrients. So
that's very true.
If you don't particularly mind it, it's perfectly fine to put in. It's definitely edible and also very nutritious. Same is true of apple skin and carrot skin and, you know, most vegetable and fruit skin.
Yeah, and the thing about sweet potatoes is that they contain a significant amount of vitamin A, which is great for your eyesight and is very fibrous and good for your gut. So that's one thing to keep in mind when you're eating sweet potatoes. Very, very healthy. I'll do the same thing for the second.
On lazy nights, I usually just pop a sweet potato in the oven and just eat that by itself.
I love that. You don't put anything on it, Kyla?
No, just pop it in the oven at 400 degrees and leave it in for a couple minutes or an hour-ish, and it's just nice and easy.
Yeah, sweet and easy. I don't know how I am on time because I haven't looked.
No, you're doing great.
Oh, okay.
Great. I think that, yeah, some of these nutritious vegetables honestly stand on their own. You know, I love that story, Kyla. You could, of course, grate cheese on top of it, and the heat just from cooking the sweet potato would melt the cheese. You could, you know, put whatever spices you want on it. I mean, it's certainly a meal. You You could top it with, peanuts or to add some protein to it. But I love that you're just kind of, sometimes the simplest things can actually be very nutritious.
Right.
Somebody's saying here that she sprinkles hers with a little cinnamon.
Ooh, that's really
So-
delicious. I love cinnamon.
Yeah.
They're so versatile. Those are really good ideas for sweet potato. Maybe I'll change it up a little bit.
Yeah.
Delicious.
I also think sweet potato is a fantastic baby food. When my kids were little, 90% of what they ate were baked sweet potatoes. True confession. Okay, Stephanie, where are we at over there?
So far I've turned off the stove so I can, because I take forever when it comes to taking the dough. So it's okay. I'm gonna leave some of the skin on. It's no big deal.
Yeah, that's fine. I think, again, the skin is full of nutrients.
Mhm. So,
So is there anyone in this group who's made dal before? Did I ask that? I think somebody was saying,
I believe
Mar-
you did
Mara
ask.
was saying she made it before, but other people do you cook with any kind of lentils or have done something similar? Somebody here is saying I boil eggs and cook some spinach to have it along with my microwave sweet potatoes. Okay, that sounds good, Mariama. We're all gonna come for dinner.
Whatever comes with spinach and sweet potato, invite me. I love it.
That sounds great.
All right. So I'm just cutting it in even chunks, just as the recipe asks. Let me put some of that in the pot and then mix it up. So I turned the heat back on since I'm almost done with cutting this.
Oh, here's a tricky question, Stephanie. You ready?
Yeah, what is the question?
Somebody's saying it's very hard to cut uncooked sweet potatoes. Is it possible to cut it afterward? So I could give my answer, but I'm
Yeah, go ahead.
happy to hear your answer if you want.
No, you can answer it first while I.
Well, you can't really put a whole sweet potato into a dish like this because it just, it wouldn't really cook. So
Mhm.
I suppose it would be possible to boil the sweet potatoes and then cut them up afterwards, but the dish would end up tasting and feeling very different. The easiest solution to that issue of it being hard to cut uncooked sweet potatoes for me is, to my mind, is to just cut them up without peeling them. Then the process is a little less complicated, right? You just need a very sharp knife. And if you don't peel it, it shouldn't take you more than a minute to cut up a sweet potato.
Right.
Andrea, what do you say? How long does it take to cut up a sweet potato in your kitchen?
Are you talking to me, Gail?
Yes, I just was wondering about your sweet potato experience and cutting up sweet potatoes and the problem of them
It's
being.
a tough vegetable. You have to be careful not to cut yourself.
Yes.
I'm going to share a red lentil soup recipe in a second. Wait.
Okay.
We're so happy you're here tonight. And Andrea is the head of the Nutrition and Dietetics Department at Lehman College. And we're really
Actually, I'm not anymore. I'm retiring.
Oh, you're retiring. Wow.
Yeah.
Well, congratulations. I'm doubly happy that you're here tonight. Is that as of the end of this year?
The end of May.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's a big step.
Yeah.
That's amazing. So this is the last year there.
It is.
Okay.
I wanted to share this recipe, but I'm having trouble.
Okay, well, if you can get it in there by the end of class, that'll be great. And I hope retirement treats you well.
I can do a lot of cooking.
You can do a lot of cooking. Well, please share your recipes with Bronx Eats so we can post them. Oh, great. So Andrea just posted
Red lentil soup.
Red lentil soup, excellent.
Which I actually is in my refrigerator right now.
Amazing.
And I fed it to my 2-year-old granddaughter today with some
Amazing.
quinoa, and she ate it, which I was sort of surprised about.
Right. So if you train kids from a young age, they will learn to eat healthy foods. So that's a great example. Somebody here, Stella, is sharing that lately she's been buying small sweet potatoes and baking them in the oven. She has them with her Sunday meals. It's delicious. So that is one way around the issue of cutting up uncooked sweet potatoes. If they're smaller, they're going to be easier to cut.
Right.
But as Andrea has said, be careful because they can be a little unwieldy and you don't want to chop off any of your limbs.
Right. So next comes the 1 cup of red lentils. Yeah. 1 cup of red split 1 cup of red split lentils.
Split
Yeah.
peas, split lentils.
Yeah. So I put that in, but I'm definitely going to put the vegetable stock so that way it cooks evenly. So that will be 2.5 cups of vegetable stock.
So what if somebody does not have vegetable broth? Can they make this dish?
I believe, yeah, I guess you could use water.
Yep.
Or chicken stock. Mhm.
Butter. I didn't have vegetable stock. I'll let you know how it came out.
Yeah, it's good to know that, you know, when they call for vegetable stock, if you have it, great. But if you don't, it's perfectly fine to make it with water. If you
Right.
want to add additional spices, great. But if you don't, it will come out. There's no question it will be fine.
A little bit more. So I'm gonna let that cook for, bring the liquid to a boil. Reduce the heat, cover and cook for 20 minutes until the lentils are tender and the potato is holding to its shape.
Well, in honor of Andrea being here, I just want to say that a lot of the presenters for Bronx Eats have been graduates of your program. So we're doubly grateful to you for participating here tonight.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank
It's
you
nice
for all
to be here.
the talented people that you have educated.
So many.
So many.
I've been at Lehman for 34 years.
Wow.
It's hard to believe.
That's incredible. Well, it's
Yeah.
a great honor that you're here.
And it's going to be wonderful to reopen the lab one of these days.
Yes, well, maybe we'll even come back and do our classes in person again.
Wouldn't that be wonderful?
Yeah.
It's been sad. It's been, I've been missing it. Having, watching people cook and tasting and.
Yeah, it's been quiet over there, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Do you have retirement plans?
Well, it would be lovely to travel again.
Uh-huh.
And I do a lot of babysitting for my granddaughter. So that's something
Very
that
nice.
I'll have more time for. And I also love to garden.
Beautiful, that's great.
And read and watch movies. So it should be fun.
Yeah, well, you earned it, that's for sure.
Thanks.
Okay, Stephanie, where are you at?
I had already just put the vegetable stock in there, and as the instruction says, to leave it covered for 20 minutes until the lentils are tender. But I already have a timer here for about 15 minutes and going on, and I'll check once that happens. But in the meantime, what I can do is prepare the next remaining steps, which is the spinach, the scallions, and that's about it. So for the spinach, it's about 2 cups worth. So this is the spinach I had showed you guys earlier.
I just ask you, do you have that on a high flame, a medium flame? Is it?
Oh, it's on a medium flame.
So you brought it to a boil and then you lowered the flame to medium?
It's
What did you do?
It's starting to boil now. So then what I'm supposed to do is that I should bring the liquid to a boil. And once I see it boiling a lot, I'll reduce the heat and then cover it for about 20 minutes. But I put the timer for 15 minutes just to check how the lentils are and how the potatoes are until then. So it's just starting to boil, just a little bit. But once it boils enough, I will definitely lower the flame a bit. There's the spinach. And for the spinach, it asks for 2 cups worth. Okay. So I have 1 cup here.
So for people who don't want to deal with a fresh bunch of spinach, spinach is widely available in the frozen section of most supermarkets. If you don't want to have to wash your spinach, that is always an option. But Stephanie is brave and intrepid, and she's decided to go for fresh spinach and is going to show us how she cleans it up.
Fairly easy.
I have a question.
Yes.
When you go into the lettuce spinach section, there's always those pre-washed bins of baby spinach. Which I do a lot because you just can dump it in and it's fresh.
True.
Is there a big difference between using baby spinach and I guess adult spinach? Is there a different taste? Is there a different, like, today I bought adult, like I went to the farmer's market and I have, you know, real spinach, I guess, not like grown-up spinach.
Right.
Does it matter?
To me, it doesn't matter. Just one is in a container while the other one's in, you know, in a more open. Then there's the one that's frozen and it's easy for you to just, you know, defrost.
So there's not a different taste between the baby and the grown-up?
No, to me, there's no different taste.
Then let's get the pre-washed one, huh?
I think the
Very
one
true.
thing to notice also about Stephanie's recipe is that you notice that the spinach is something she's dealing with late in the recipe. And the reason for that is that spinach doesn't take nearly as much time to cook.
I'm just preparing it.
You're going to put that in at the very end?
Yes, it's near the very end where the very, very end. It's right before I top it with scallions. Yeah, when I top it with scallions and basil leaves. So the topping is scallions and basil leaves, but before that is the spinach leaves. I'm just gonna top. Let me lower this.
Gail, I wanted to ask what type of camera you're using. Well, Stephanie is using.
What I'm using?
The camera.
That's a good question. Let me get the box. It's nearby.
So Mariama has been excellent in posting the recipe and also the survey. Please, before you leave, it would be a huge help if you could just fill that out. Mariama, can you put that in the chat box again now so that people have it?
Sorry, can you repeat that?
Yes, can you please put the survey in the chat box now so that people, in case they have to leave early or they want to fill it out now, it would be really helpful.
Got it. I'm gonna do that now.
Excellent. Thank you.
Okay, so to answer that question about my camera, it is a where's it here? 1080p 30 FPS webcam. I got it in Amazon, so yeah. It's nothing special. It's not, you know, it's not from my laptop. It's a separate webcam that I perched on top of my cabinet.
Thank you.
No problem.
So
I
you're
have
taking the stems off of the spinach right now?
right. So I have about 8 minutes left until hopefully everything softens. But it's not in a medium boil. It's lower because it
Right, so
started
that's
boiling.
important for people to know. Once you have all the ingredients in there and then she put the stock in there, you're bringing it to a boil and then you're turning the flame down. But you don't want it at a roaring boil for the whole time, or it will overcook and be very soggy.
So this should be about 2 cups worth.
Mine's a long time to boil, just so you know.
This took a long time to boil. Okay, so then you have to adjust how long you're going to cook it. If it takes a little longer, maybe you put more more stock in, right, or water. And Stephanie, what do you recommend people eat this dal with?
I honestly think you could eat it by itself because the protein is in the lentils and then the carb itself is the sweet potato.
So you can eat it with rice or you can eat it alone.
You could eat it with rice, absolutely, or you could eat it alone. Yep.
I'm just tasting mine.
Oh,
How is
wow,
it?
Charmaine, you're so fast.
It's almost ready.
Already, wow. So these are the scallions. This is for the very, very end, just as a topper. Okay. I'll check on that in a moment.
So Stephanie, is there any other substitute for the red lentils if you wanted to, you know, if somebody doesn't want to use lentils or beans?
You could use the green lentils. If you don't want to use beans, I guess you could use
It's
some
kind
form
of not
like chicken.
dal anymore, but
Yeah, it's not. I guess you could use chicken, you know, but the healthy part of the chicken, no skin, you know, like white meat. I guess that's the best I could think of right now.
yeah, that's fine.
Yeah, so 5 minutes left. And then the basil for the very end is just, you know, just few bits of basil.
So it's worth noticing that the spinach and the basil are really not ingredients that you cook for very long, which is why the dish is basically completed and she's going to throw them in at the end, and the heat from the dish that she's made is basically what cooks them. You don't really need them on the heat for more than a minute or two, right?
No. It's just the sweet potatoes that takes a bit because you want it softened. And I'm also waiting for the lentils to just cook properly. So I have 5 minutes to spare, but I might as well look at how it's going. Oh,
Can you
wow.
bring that pot over to us when
Sure.
you get a minute?
Yeah, I'm just gonna mix it really quickly. So it looks like it's getting there. I mean, it's. Let me get another, so you could see how it looks. Okay. All right. Can you guys see?
Yeah, wow, that looks great. That looks amazing, and it's going to be even more amazing with the greens in it.
Right.
Really a meal in a pot. You know, incredibly nutritious.
It looks so good.
I'm getting hungry already.
Stephanie, there's another question that came in. Do you use the bulb of the scallion or just the ends?
For the scallions, I just used the front part of it. I didn't use the ends. I used
The white part.
No, I used the green ones.
You're using the green part, okay,
green
but
part.
certainly you don't want to be throwing out the bulbs and the white part.
No, you
Those
can
are-
use that. Yeah,
Those are
absolutely.
onions. Those are just like little onions. Green
Mhm.
scallions are small onions.
Right. So since I think, let me see how the texture is with the, let me use a fork actually. To see how the texture of the sweet potato is. Ooh, okay, it's pretty good. It's going through the sweet potato, which means I think it's about time that I put the.
Okay, but
spinach
that's
in.
important for people to know. So Stephanie is checking whether it's done by putting a fork into one of the chunks of sweet potato,
Yeah.
right? If the fork goes in easily, then you know the rest of the dish is complete.
Right. So I'm gonna put in the spinach, and that honestly does not take that very long. It'll wilt.
So do you have to cover the dish once you put the spinach and the greens in?
It'll probably go a lot faster. I'm just gonna kind of dig it in, making sure. Put it in for maybe like, let me put 2 minutes, because I put it in not medium, but less than medium heat. And I covered it to make sure it cooks a little bit faster.
So you want to avoid cooking your food at really high temperatures.
Yeah.
Right.
Right. So it's at low heat right now because I definitely don't want everything to be mushy in the very end. I still want that consistency of the sweet potato to be, not rock hard, but still have that sturdy taste that I like.
And so what do you still have left to put in?
Just the scallions and then the basil. Those are the only two left.
And so those you're going to put in after you've taken it off the heat?
Once it's all wilted, I can turn it off and then top it with the scallions and basil leaves. And that's it.
Okay, so everyone understands that? The scallions and the basil actually don't need to be cooked at all. They're really just thrown into this dish at the end. And the heat from the cooking will break them down and integrate them. So any final questions? I'd love to see the dish after you put in those last two ingredients. I think all of us would love to see that. If people have any final questions, please speak up or put them in the chat box.
So it's wilted pretty well, and now I'm gonna just put the remaining ingredients.
Charmaine, are you still there? We'd love to see yours. There she is. Did you finish your dish?
Yeah, should I take a picture?
Yeah, or could you just show it to us? Because we're curious.
Let me see.
And anybody else who's made the dish who wants to share? Shira, do you have yours to
How can I
You can just you know what, if we pin you for a minute, go to Charmaine's picture and click on the three dots and pin her, and then she'll show up. And then can you put it in front of your camera?
Well, it's my computer. I'm using my computer.
Well, if you put the yeah, I think, yep, there you go, there you go, there you go. And pull out your dish a little bit more. Oh, wow. Just pull it towards you more, the dish, and we can see it a little bit.
Oh,
well, it's a little tough.
it's a little
But
tough.
it does, what I saw looks amazing.
It's on my laptop. I don't know how to do it with my laptop.
That's okay, but I'm glad you made it, and I hope you enjoy eating it. And Stephanie's going to show us her final product here. Look, wow, look at that. Okay, beautiful. Please remember to take a picture of it. Stephanie, that looks absolutely gorgeous.
Absolutely.
We have people saying it looks yummy. I agree with them.
It looks amazing.
Thank you, Kyla.
It looks amazing. You can put it on rice. You can eat it on its own. And now you are all equipped to know how to do that for yourselves. Yeah, look at that. Beautiful.
This is amazing.
And so how many people do you think that serves, what you made tonight?
I believe when I looked online for this recipe, I believe 4 to 5.
Okay.
Because there's still a significant amount left. I will show you the remaining. Yeah. So maybe about like 2 or 3 more people can have another serving.
Yeah, that's beautiful.
Mhm.
And of course, you can all double it if you have a bigger family and want to just make more. You just double the recipe, right?
Very true. Mhm.
So do you have any final words for us? Otherwise, we're going to wrap it up. We really loved watching that.
So far, thank you everyone for joining, and I hope you learned a thing or two about this dish. It's fairly easy. It didn't even take that long for me. It's just a matter of adjusting the right temperature and having all your ingredients available. But yeah, it's very doable. And it's definitely less than $40. So it's affordable. Let's just say that.
Beautiful. So can you tell us, last question is, does it freeze okay? You obviously want to wait for it to cool down, but if somebody
Right.
wanted to freeze
Yeah.
this, would that work?
I guess I wouldn't recommend freezing it. I would recommend just keeping it in the regular refrigerator, not freezing it. I don't know if it's recommended to freeze it. That's the thing. I personally I trust more in eating it within a week as opposed to, unless somebody else knows otherwise.
I think you can freeze it, but I agree with you. Eating it after you make it over the course of a few days sounds great. So yeah, thank you so much, everybody. Andrea, thank you again for joining us. We are going to wrap it up.
I can show you mine, Gail. Everyone.
Oh
I
yeah,
can show
please
you
show
mine.
us yours. Yep.
Yes.
I'm putting my laptop over it. Can you see?
Oh, wow, beautiful. Look at that. We have another one. Please take pictures. Please send them to me. We definitely will include them on Instagram and on our website. So we're very happy to see that. Thank you so much, Stephanie. We're really grateful to you for learning and teaching us this recipe. We know that healthy food is the best medicine of all, and that eating nourishing real food strengthens our bodies and our immune systems and our spirits. Thank you again for joining us. Eat real food, stay healthy, and we hope to see you again soon for some more Bronx Eats cooking and programming. We have a whole series coming up in May, and also in July. We're going to be cooking vegetables to make desserts in May. So stay tuned for that. We're really grateful that you joined us tonight. This is the end of Cuisines from Around the World, and I hope to see you soon. Thank you,
Gail,
Stephanie.
I just have a quick question.
Yes, Denise.
Are the recipes,
Question?
I said, is it in any like pamphlet form or booklet form, all of the various recipes that you have?
That's a great question, Denise. Also, I'm so glad you're here.
I'm sorry, well, because it was on Wednesdays, the other ones, and being that it was the Lenten season, I was always participating in the church. So this is the first one that I've been able to participate.
Oh, okay. Well, I'm glad you're back. We really missed you. I would say that, yeah, it's all of the recipes are online, and the demonstrations for how to make the recipes are also online. So if you have any trouble finding them, you can definitely email me, but they should be easily accessible on the bronxeats.org website.
Oh, okay.
And
I'm
you
going to
can also
definitely try
follow
this
us.
one.
I'm sorry?
I'm definitely going to try this one.
Excellent. And please follow us and tag us on Instagram. If you recreate this dish, we really want to see what it looks like.
Okay.
And, you know, we'll feature you on our page.
Gail, thank you for suggesting that we cook along. I didn't think it was possible.
Oh, great. Great. I'm so glad you did. And I really hope you have a great dinner now.
Tastes delicious.
Fantastic. All right, Charmaine, thank you for doing that. And thank you for sharing, all of you, those who cooked along and those who are going to make it. Have a great night. Thank you again, and hope to see you all soon.
Okay, take care. Everyone be
care,
safe.
You too.
Everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.